Fill the seats up. Fill them up. The boxes will probably stand.
To the mayor? Yeah. Okay, to who?
That's okay. I could do it. I just had to get the lotion off.
All right, well, let's get in.
All right,
We gotta
get started.
We gotta get started.
Now, come on in. We got to get started. All right.
There's seats on the front row.
Yeah,
Wherever
come on.
you see empty seats, y'all can fill in, please.
It is now 7:05, calling the meeting to order. We have pledge of allegiance by Vice Mayor Jonathan Medlock.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which is stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, like I say, good evening to everybody, and we got a lot of stuff, so we're gonna get started real quick. We have our presentation of the DPW Awards Boxing Club.
No. DPW is our public works.
No, I'm sorry. We're gonna have awards, but we have that taken up by Vice Mayor Jonathan Medlock.
Good evening again, residents of District Heights and Prince George's County and all those who are visiting. I bring you greetings from the city of District Heights. Thank you all for showing up and showing out. One of the things, a commissioner, I've been on this commission, I like to do and is reward hard work. And one of the cornerstones of any community is their public works department. And my public works department has been stellar, and I'm going to talk about them a little later on. But I wanted to present all the public works staff, hardworking soldiers and soldierettes, Angela, for the outstanding job you've done this year. I like to have this as a standing yearly thing because you work so hard and you do so much for our community. And I want to just recognize you live and in person to say thank you. Your chief is not here, Brian Edwards, but I'm going to accept this on his behalf, and later on I get a chance to talk to him. The second in command, Mr. Rick Whitman, would you please? There we go, sir. Definitely want to present you with the award. If you can come up and take it, sir, I really appreciate it. Next, Miss Angela Barnhill Love. Cornell Sharp. And Mr. Kyle Thompson.
Take it down a little bit, so
Family.
I would just like to say that these are the ladies and gentlemen that take care of the city, keep us moving and cutting grass, cutting trees, whatever they have to do. They are very diligent in what they do, and we're very proud of you, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you. In front of the mic. Daryl, I know you work with the young men and women with the AAA boxing or PVA?
PVA.
PVA, which stands for?
Potomac Valley Region.
The Potomac Valley Region. And when I work these young men out with their parents, representatives, their coaches, they did something really major. And I'm going to let you talk about it a little bit more, but they participated in the 2018 Junior Olympics National Championship from June 24th to June 30th. And I had a list of names, but you know them better than I do. So I want you to, when you call these young men, I want them to at least stand up and be acknowledged for the hard work they've done. They've gone out, they've won bronze, silver, and gold medals.
Yes.
For our particular region here in this area.
And we also had one that went to Turkey and won a bronze.
In Turkey.
Yes.
Wonderful. So we wanted to highlight your organization and what you do. I've known you for a few years, and I've come to your events where you have professional boxers come out and present and exhibit and do some things and show these young men and women what it is to be stellar in what they do. And I want you to call them out and get these young men some standing ovations when you finish. So
okay, first
tell us
of all,
about
go ahead. Tell us about what.
Yeah, about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I'm Daryl Davis. I'm the JO Commissioner of Potomac Valley Region. And first of all, let me call my president up here, Marshall Cunningham. And he put just as much as hard work in it as me.
Yes, sir.
And I'm gonna let Cunningham tell you a little bit about his JOs, and I'll elaborate on it. The Junior Olympics.
Junior Olympics.
Yeah. Potomac Valley is a nonprofit organization which is oversees boxing in D.C. and PG and Montgomery counties. We like a youth organization for boxing, but we stress and push our students first. And we always talk about student athletes.
Yes, sir.
When we talk boxing. So that's just an outlet for them to be good students, good citizens. So the Potomac Valley and the Junior Olympic program is ages 10 to 16. And we took approximately 27 kids to West Virginia to compete in the Junior Olympic National Championship. And we brought home like 13 medals. Wow. So. I am extremely proud of all our coaches, parents, and especially our athletes, man. Yeah, that I just, I'm just saying I'm elated about the opportunity they had, and we have tried to afford them opportunity, but all our opportunities have to come through charitable organizations, and we do it mostly in fundraising. In order for us to get to West Virginia, hotel, meals, and lodge, and we had to raise money to do that.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, Mr. President, is all this support here in this room. These are not only the students, but I see the parents and the coaches in here.
Yeah.
So it's deep in here. Everybody can see how crowded this room is, and it's because they have supported their kids along the way.
Without them, without the coaches who volunteer their time, like Coach Darrell, to take away time from his own family,
Yeah.
the sacrifice so the kids can have some opportunity
Absolutely.
to do this.
And then one of the reasons too, I have to mention our mayor. When he talked to me a few months ago, said, start something with these kids, get these kids involved in some things, start some stuff, so they can have something to fall back on to. And this is one of the things that we want to our District Heights residents and our young kids from 10 to 16.
Yes.
Is it boys or girls? Or
Well,
boys?
it's all ages. The Junior Olympic program
Okay.
is just from actually 8 to 16.
Okay.
Boys and girls.
Boys and
Boys
girls,
and
all
girls,
ages,
yeah.
here in District Heights. To be a part of this club is a great opportunity. These are great guys. I've known them for a while. Like I said, in this program, of course, it seems to be stellar because look what you've done. So can you please have these young men, whoever, call them by name, have them stand up for me?
You want me to have him walk up?
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to call Jaleel Hackett. He's went to Turkey and won a bronze medal, 3-time national champion. Yep. I'm going to call Jamal Harvey, 4-time national champion, 2-time USA, 2-time division champion, 2 different divisions. Jamal Harvey.
Hey, anybody interested in want to check out what we do? We have a web page. It's pvaboxing.org. Check us out.
And I know they had to, I didn't want to keep them all night. Thank you, Dr. Crutchfield and the mayor for allowing them to go first. And you can stay and see a part of the electoral process too and how we work.
Well, actually, I just want to say congratulations to the coaches, to the parents,
yes.
and especially to the athletes themselves. Anyone have ever competed in anything know how rigorous it can be in terms of getting to where you want to go. And to travel all over the world and all over to do the things that you have done, you should be absolutely electrified.
Absolutely.
Because it's a wonderful thing, and you're in a great organization with some great guys. And parents, keep up the good work. You're doing good.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you again.
And one last thing is that Vice Mayor Madlock and I sit down and talked about a few things, because what happened is everybody knows that I sort of spent a lot of time with the senior citizens and getting the senior citizens things going, and the Recreation Department does a lot of things with the younger people. But there is, in the middle, there's a section of people that we have to engage, and we have to show them some good stuff and what we can do to help them to move forward. And Commissioner Matlock is on his way of doing that. I've asked him to do that and concentrate a lot on the people in the middle, young kids from 13 to 30 in that age group. And hopefully he'll be bringing us some more stuff and working with people. And Good job, Coach.
Appreciate you.
All right, so we want to do that. We have to be mindful of that. Everybody has to be engaged in the city because everybody has something to do and everybody has something for everybody here. Okay?
Thank
All
you.
right, so thanks again, parents and
Thank you,
coaches.
now.
Thank you.
And you guys will be able to see this on channel, what, 25?
25 and 71.
And 71. And Darryl, the information you need.
All right. Now we have department reports, treasury report. Mr. Baden is not here. Dr. Crutchfield, would you handle that for me?
The 2018 Treasurers Report that is in your packet. For revenues, total revenues, this does not include everything to the end of June 30, which ended our fiscal year 2018. But this is just a caption of the revenue, total revenue, $47,785.63. For expenditures for general government, it was $92,854.94. For general government projects, expenditures were $1,549.70. Revitalization and infrastructure, $473,666.81. Mayor and commission, $6,208.91. For public safety, $19,997.56. Municipal building, $21,511.22. For public works, $87,116.21. Code enforcement, $8,754.40. Recreation, $1,791.36. And for culture, $3,078.71. For revenue for our capital improvement budget, total revenue, $5,130,256. And for expenditures for the capital improvement budget, $3,692,110.72. And this is a combination of expenditures and revenue for the Youth Services Bureau and the Senior Day Facility projects. Again, this is just information to date for all expenditures and revenue for June 2018. However, there are still some other expenditures and revenue that will be coming in that we have not added to this report. However, for next month, all of that information, and you will get a full caption of the full FY18 expenditure and revenue budget at the next city meeting for August of 2018. So you can get a full caption of the previous fiscal year because we have now started FY19.
Okay. Any questions from the commission?
No.
Seeing none, thank you, Dr. Crutchfield. Recreation, Parks, and Cultural Department, Mr. Taylor, he's not here today.
Teresa is here.
Teresa?
Good evening.
My name is Teresa Williams. I'm the Recreation Assistant Director for the City of District Heights. Hello, Mayor, Commissioners, and residents. Please accept the Recreation Report as submitted. On Saturday, June 9th, we had district due to inclement weather. The event was canceled. On Wednesday, June 13th, we had a Father's Day fish fry, which we had approximately 60 to 70 male residents in attendance. On Wednesday, June 26th, that was the start of summer camp, where we have a total of 34 campers. 17 kids are from District Heights, and the other 17 kids are non-District Heights residents. On Wednesday, 4th of July, July 4th, we had a 4th of July fireworks celebration, which started this year at 5:30 p.m., which included a DJ. We also had snow cones, and we had a very great and diverse crowd. This sums up the recreation report.
Any questions for Ms. Teresa?
I have a comment. Teresa, you said that the District Heights Day was canceled.
Yes.
One was, but we tried another one, remember?
And it rained the following Saturday. Yes.
Yeah, and then we just got rained on. But
Yes.
on up until that time, we had the parade, and on up to that time, did a good job. You had everything you needed to have out there. And we even had people out there, and then the sky opened up. It didn't drizzle first like usually.
Right.
The sky opened up.
Yeah.
So everybody had to come on the inside. So you did indeed have something that you all worked hard to put together.
Right.
So I want to make sure you get your accolades for that.
Thank you.
Because you all did everything you were supposed to do. You can't control the weather. So job well done.
Thank you.
And the weatherman should not have his job.
You know,
He should not have his job, because the day that he said it was gonna rain, we counted it didn't rain, and then the day it said it wasn't gonna rain, it was a monsoon. So, you know, thank you, Teresa. Any questions for Teresa?
I have one statement. From yesterday, the fireworks display was vicious. Again,
Yes.
I mean, everybody that I talked to after it was over with said they had a blast. It was great. That's always a good time. And every year I want us to continue to capture more and more people as they come and have things for them to do as they get on the field and around the area, because they're happy. I don't think there's any complaints or no fights or issues. Everybody was there to have fun, and it did my heart good, and the rest of the commission too, to have you guys do such a great job. Every year is going to become better and better. So
Absolutely.
I commend you on that again, you guys on that. And the police force did an excellent job as far as corralling, getting people together. So we all worked as a unit, and it was great to see. So thank you again.
No problem.
Thank you, it was the best one we had in a long time.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, police report, Chief Gibson.
Mayor, members of the commission, residents and friends, let me say good evening to you. Please accept my report for the month of June 2018 as submitted. During the month, 94 calls for police service. There were no homicides, no sexual assaults, one robbery, one simple assault. It was a closed case. One home was broken into. No auto thefts, no attempts, no acts of vandalism. 6 thefts for a total of 9 crimes reported to police during the month. Motor vehicle accidents, there were 2. Accident hit and runs, there were 3. 11 vehicles were impounded. No recovered stolen autos and no missing persons. With respect to arrests, the city recorded 6 arrests during the month. With respect to traffic enforcement, there were 1,686 citations issued through our automated speed system. Police made 159 traffic stops. Other moving citations, 156. 2 radar or speeding citations, 14 stop signs, 3 seat belts, 9 equipment repair orders written, and 3 parking citations. With respect to revenue, accident reports, the city brought in $10. Parking citations, the city brought in $860. Speed camera citations, $39,345. Vehicle releases, $60, for a total of $40,275 brought in during the month of June. I just got a couple of things and I'm going to call it a day. In our crime and disorder update, on June 28th, which was last week around 6:25 in the evening, a lone male subject dressed as a woman, wearing a dress and a wig, entered the Parkland Pharmacy over on Old Silver Hill Road. Initially, the suspect inquired about some drugs. Then he jumped the counter and demanded money from the victim. When the victim refused, the suspect pulled out a canister of mace and sprayed him in the face. He took money and also the keys to a car, and he was last seen out the door. And we're looking for an African-American man around 25 years of age, tall, dark-skinned, dressed like a woman.
That's a good description,
One of the things that occurred that I wanted to make sure that we have some conversation about is The proprietor was a little agitated about the guys trying to, take something from him, and he starts fighting the guy. So even though he wasn't injured, he's fighting the guy, trying to keep the guy from getting to the car. They're fighting out on the sidewalk. Some of the patrons of the barbershop came out, and they said, sir, let him go, let him go. It's not worth it. And I'm just sharing. We want you to get home safe. We want you to wake up the next day, and getting involved with some of these desperate individuals is just a bad idea. And so we're just asking, do not resist when someone is trying to take. You want to be able to come back and live another day, because you never know what these individuals would do. So we just want to share that. The police department is hosting its summertime community policing meeting. It's the last Saturday in July 28th, here in the municipal building from 2 to 4 p.m. And we're asking all of those within the sound to please come out and help support this worthwhile endeavor. You have an opportunity to meet the patrol officers. They talk briefly about crime and disorder that had occurred over the past 2 months. And then the chief normally comes up and talks about some specific issues relating to crime and disorder in our society. So if you're not busy, Saturday, July 28th, from 2 to 4 p.m., come on out. There will be refreshments served. Lastly, yesterday, the 4th of July, Independence Day, we had a lot of folks out. The folks came later than they normally do. I think some reported they thought it was going to rain. But by 8:30, we were jam-packed and crowded like we normally have been over the last 5 years. And I just wanted to take this opportunity. I know none of them are in the room at this time, but I wanted to thank the Public Works members as well as the police department for ensuring safety and well-being of our residents and friends and others who came out to help us celebrate the 4th of July. So with that, I just wanted to say thank you. That concludes my report for the month.
Any questions or comments for the chief? Go ahead.
Oh, Chief, we talked about the other day. I'm glad the Tenants Association is in the building again. I see everybody from the president to the vice president to the secretary. Everybody's here to represent Woodland Springs. Chief, the other day we talked about doing some good work in Woodland Springs and working with the Tenants Association to start some beefing up, if you will, certain areas, working along with the management association, the management company who we did meet with a few weeks back. They made some promises, but we have to do what we have to do on our end also to get some stuff started. And I spoke with the mayor about this also. So we want to focus on certain areas. I'm not going to say the areas that we're going to focus on, but we're going to focus on the areas that we know are problematic areas in our community of Woodland Springs, and we know the buildings. We're going to kind of clean that area up and really enforce that when you're here, this is what you do. And we want to keep our residents safe, and so I know Chief is on that. He's been working out a comprehensive plan to kind of make sure that everything kind of lines up and falls into place. So you, specific Woodland Springs, you're definitely on the radar to really have some stuff move and move quickly because we know the summertime is coming. So thank you, Chief.
Any more questions for the chief?
With these meetings, I like to be included since Woodland Springs is my ward, so.
Me too, since I have the townhouses.
Absolutely. And it wasn't a full-on meeting. We spoke about it, but I would absolutely let you guys know when there's a meeting that's had.
Actually, what happened was that the management for Woodland Springs about 8 people came down from New York. And we had a meeting and of the minds to find out how can we better service the people, the residents in Woodland Springs. The Tenant Association was there, all of the commissioners was there, along with myself. The chief had another engagement, but Lieutenant Golson was there and Corporal Martin. And we went over some of the things that was actually necessary for Woodland Springs to keep people out of harm's way. And we have the areas, the addresses, and with the help of management and the tenants association, we are going to get to the bottom of this because it makes no sense that people have to step over people to come out of their apartments, and we're not going to have that. So, and I want to impress upon this point that Woodland Springs is definitely a part of District Heights, and they have to be treated as or any other property in this entire city. And we're not going to isolate them and say that they're not, because they are. So we're going to do our due diligence there in terms of trying to solve this, along with the property owners, because they did come to the meeting. I'm talking about the CEOs here and sit down and talk to us. He made promises to the Tenants Association and to the city. So we're going to see if those things come to fruition, and that's how it was. So I expect the next meeting, all of the commissioners that was at the last meeting, and everyone was there, to be brought on board with what's going on. Okay?
I appreciate you, Chief.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Chief. General government reports, Dr. Crutchfield.
Please accept the general government report for June 2018 as submitted. Just a few highlights. The mayor, myself, the city treasurer, our YSB director, and our special assistant for projects met with the county's CDBG administrator and his staff over in Largo in the Prince George's Government Park area in Largo. And we talked to them about assistance with some of the CDBG grants, also other programs that will be beneficial to our residents regarding upgrading homes and other projects that we may have future. So we were looking for support from their office, as well as a member of Councilman Derek Davis' office was there, who is always a great supporter of the city of District Heights as well, to make sure that we try to continue to provide the stellar service and the stellar staff here in the city of District Heights. Also, I wanted to also reiterate about Channel 71. I know there was an issue with Comcast Channel 71 probably for about a month, where the station was not airing on the Comcast side. It is now back up and running. I don't know if any of the residents have noticed or not, but it was back up and running as of, I want to say maybe the end of last week. So that is back up and running for those of you that have been calling and emailing. If you haven't noticed, Channel 71 is back up on the Comcast side. And lastly, July 28th is another Community Shred Day from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. here in the Municipal Center parking lot. July 28th is a Community Shred Day. A few residents was asking about when we would do the community shredding again. So please, we're on television, it's in the Herald. Let your neighbors and friends know. You don't have to be a city resident to come and have things shredded, but we would like for you all to utilize that time to get rid of anything that you feel is private or secure information through a secure shredding company. So again, July 28th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. here in the Municipal Center parking lot. We will be doing that. Completes my report. But one more thing. The mayoral scholarship applications, tomorrow is the deadline at 5 p.m. So if there are high school seniors who are looking to go to college or trade school or vocational program and they need assistance with tuition, tomorrow is the last day for the mayoral scholarship applications.
Okay. Now, how many well, I'll ask you that later.
It's only one application that's been received so far.
Do I have any questions?
I have one.
Go ahead.
Dr. Crutchfield, when will the Herald, should we look to see it in the mail? The Herald?
Probably by this weekend.
This weekend?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, any more questions?
One last one. As relates to trash removal Bates, I received an email this morning, again from a resident, that their recycle was picked up along with their trash, which it shouldn't have been. You know, that shouldn't have been the case. Like, their recycle was out, they took both of them, put it in one truck, and took it along with them. That's been I've heard it more than once. And that shouldn't be the case. So I don't know if it was just 1, 2, and 3 offs, or if that's something that they continue to practice. But if you can, we need to continue to reach out to Bates and see what the situation is so we can kind of rectify it.
Well, actually today, I think Ms. Barnhill Love was gonna speak about that. They had the truck break, right? Am I correct?
actually have one.
They had one truck.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that was something that caused some issues
Okay.
today. But we have to be mindful that this happens every month. And we're gonna have to have a conversation with them. I asked Mr. Edwards, could he get in contact with them so that we can bring Mr. Bates in and not the other guy who charms us, you know, and try to get something done. All right?
I actually sent a request to him and his assistant today.
Okay.
Mr. Bates and his assistant at their office today, so I'm waiting to hear back, because I would like him to come to the work session Tuesday.
Okay. All right. Any more questions? Seeing none. Human Resources Report, Mrs. Karen Shorts.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, elected officials, residents, guests, City of Heights. The Human Resource Report, please accept as submitted tonight. The main focus for the month of June was the Personnel Manual. To date, I've incorporated all the changes and comments received. I'm working with the proofreader on the draft, and on June 29th, I submitted to the City Manager the final draft for distribution, review, and comments by elected officials. The next steps, the city, the city mayor will schedule meetings to thoroughly review the draft, and I'll incorporate the final changes, present the draft to the city manager for legal review by the attorney, and upon receipt from legal review, incorporate the changes for the final product.
Okay.
Any questions?
If there's any questions.
I know that you've come to the end of your contract, and I want to say that I thank you for all the work that you put into this personnel manual. I've been reading the changes and the comments, and we are going in the right direction, but we're not going fast enough. So also, I want to say that dealing with the manual that was dated 2001 and bringing it up to date is, I know it's a great task, but I appreciate the work that you put in it, and my goal was to see more of a hands-on with the staff to move them in the right direction, because there are some oversights that we do not have, and I have been fighting for that for the last 4 years, and hopefully, I'm going to try my best to get more training, the drug testing. I mean, we things for our employees to make them better employees as we move forward. So that is my goal, but I wanted to personally thank you that you really, really did a great job, and we look forward to working on the employee performance standards. That's something that's definitely needed. So I look forward to working with you again.
Thank you.
Any more comments?
Yeah.
Questions?
Okay, I got a copy of the draft and I took it home and I said, okay, I'm gonna look at it. Well, it's in depth. So needless to say, I'm going to have to keep looking at it because I just went through certain portions of it and sections of it and saw how detailed it was. So just wanted to let you know I appreciate it, and it is thorough. It is extremely thorough, which is what we really, really need. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Once again, I have a copy in my hand. Sometimes you got to walk around with things. Like commissioners both said, it is detailed. It is a lot of information, but you put a lot into it. So we're going to take the time that it takes to really go through it and incorporate what needs to be done. So you did an absolute stellar job ever since you came on board. I appreciate what you've done, and this is good stuff.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
And I enjoyed working.
Thank you.
Thank you for your hard work. Any more questions? Comments? Okay. District Heights Youth Service Bureau, Dr. Beverly Sargent.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners,
Good evening.
residents, staff, friends. Please accept the Youth Services Bureau report as submitted. The online registration portal for the 5K is open, and the registration fee is $25 per person. Children 12 and under are free with an adult registration. And the website is runsignup.com, so www.runsignup.com. And when you get to that website, you just type in My Soul Knows, S-O-L-E, My Soul Knows, and then you can register from there, from that point. We ended the year-long group at Woodland Springs. Also, the 5-month pre-K behavioral intervention program at Ideal Child Care here in District Heights, and we've been invited to come back with both programs, so we are very proud of that. I was also asked to speak at Ideal Daycare during their graduation ceremony. On June 15th, we held the vendors luncheon for the Family Health Fair with Men in Mind, and it was very well attended. The YSB also submitted an article for the Herald newsletter by 15th. On June 25th, the first Summer Youth at Work participant arrived in Public Works, and now we have a total of 4 summer hires in Public Works. We have one who is working part-time in general government and part-time at the Youth Services Bureau, and one in code enforcement. And I received a letter from, well, I won't say who it's from, I didn't get permission, but in reference to our summer hire. So I just wanted to read the letter that I received. It says, I wanted to commend you, which is really not me, it's the Summer Youth Enrichment Program, on the high quality of young people who've been hired for the Summer Youth Employment Program. The young persons that I have encountered have been awesome. They are respectful, come to work ready to work, creative, and seek ways to help others. I'm truly impressed. I have spoken with several of them about post-high school plans, and they all have plans for college. They're really going places. It's a sign that our future is in good hands. And I was so happy to receive that, because the program, these kids have actually been working and training since December. And so they did come ready to work, and they have been very professional. I'm just really proud of the program. And finally, as far as what we've completed, on June 30th, that's where the health fair took place. It was very well attended, especially for it being our having a health fair like this. We actually had 138 visitors, and that's not including the vendors. We had another 30 vendors and more than 30 different activities available. And of course, it was a beautiful day, so I was really happy about that as well. We have a phone conference scheduled for July 19th at 1 p.m. And the reason for the conference is to develop an after-action report, so we'll get data from everybody in reference to, how many people came to their table, and, things like that, how many enrollments there were for the, different things, especially like the insurance plan, how many people actually had an HIV test that day, and things of that nature. Let's see. And upcoming, August 13th through the 31st, the Youth Services Bureau will host its first summer camp and it's called Creative Minds, and our deadline for that is July 13th. And we only have 5 slots available. So we'll take the last registrant on July 13th. And finally, in reference to our mental health moment, we had a comment on our Facebook page in reference to the health fair. So I wanted to read that. It says, well, the respondent said, "Great event. More men should have attended." And this is, of course, his opinion, but he says, "Black men are generally the last to seek medical care, and generally only do so when they can no longer take the pain. And had they, or we, sought help earlier or kept regular doctor's appointments, we could have caught whatever ails us in its early symptoms or avoid it altogether." So I just wanted to share that, because the bottom line is this person, you know, was so excited about what he experienced during the health fair that he wanted to talk about it. And so we thank him for that.
First of all, Dr. Sargent, I would just like to say thank you for all your hard work. It took a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of hours, and you persevered. I just want to say thank you. You did a great job. And whoever wrote that has never been so right in the entire life, because that is right on. I mean, I was there, and I was just a little, I wasn't disappointed, but I would have loved to have seen more women there also, you know, because this health fair had emphasis on men's health. And as I walked around and talked to the vendors and things like that, it was really, really, really a good day, a great day. And largely because of you and all of your efforts, along with the rest of your group and Youth Service Bureau, and everybody was there. And it was just a good day overall.
Well, I appreciate that, but we couldn't have done it without your support, without Public Works and the Recreation Departments and, you know, all of the staff of the city. So we're very appreciative. And I do know that there were 8 people who now have insurance, who didn't have insurance before. And there was Heart to Hand was actually doing HIV tests outside, and I invited them to come into the gym, but because of the number of people who were getting tested, and they wanted more privacy, they were using their van for privacy. Right. So they chose to stay outside in the sun. So you know, it was worth it. If we were able to change one life, it was worth it, and we changed 16. That I know of.
And that's absolutely great. And I did talk to those guys out there too. Matter of fact, I offered them a 10. You know, so they worked out well, and it was a great day. And I just hope next year it'll be much larger and better. And it has nowhere to go but up. And we look forward to that. And thank you and everybody's involved.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Thank you, Dr.
Yeah, I just have one comment. It was a very great event. I mean, you couldn't ask for all the services that were free. I mean, and then even the chef, oh my gosh, that kale and spinach salad, oh, it was great.
Yeah.
And I like to see more of those dishes, even for our seniors when we have senior events. But also, I realized there were so many other events that day that took away a lot of people. So hopefully the next time, we always competed against other events, but I know it'll be a success the next time. But thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions, Dr. Simon?
I'll just say I attended as well, and it was really, really nice. And you did a stellar job planning it, period. And we used to always tell my staff when I was working, and we did events and things, what you're supposed to do is plan it, publicize it, and implement it. You do those things successfully, even if people don't come as much as you would like them to, you've done what you're supposed to do, and you far exceeded that.
Thank you. On behalf of the staff, thank you.
Any more questions or comments? Thank you, Dr. Sargent. Code enforcement report, Ms. Watkins.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, residents, and guests. Please accept my report for June 2018 as submitted. Brief overlay. The section 413, which is on vehicles. Since June, we had a total of only 18 vehicles that we've had to post. The residents are getting pretty good on getting their registration of vehicles. We still have a few, and we're still working on it, but it's getting better. Housing code, section 402. For the month of June, we've posted 79 notices, which consist of anything from vehicles on grass to gutters, shutters, paintings, sanitation. For the weekend, which is the commission would like to know, we, the code enforcement officer that works on the weekend posted for the month 40 notices, which is excellent. 20 of those notices had to go for final notices for violations that weren't cleared up the first time. And 6 building permits which were taken care mandatory inspections were done. Under the revenue, we brought in $3,590. Most of it references licenses coming into the city. For a brief on the journal, I attended the Prince George's County hearing board. One of them was on the liquor licensing, which we don't have. We only have two, like one liquor license in the city. But I went to the hearing just to find out what it is that the requirements were to actually get a liquor license, and it is extremely extenuous. One company waited 4 years, and they were denied. I was like, okay, takes a long time. I did not realize how long, but yes, it does. I also attended the Maryland Municipal League Convention, which was very interesting. I did learn a lot. And I attended a meeting with Habitat for Humanity's Metro Maryland, which I think we're going to be hearing a lot more of a little bit later on during the month. Perform building permits. The concentration for this month was high grass and weeds, but we also contended with littering, and this is just discussions. We noticed that individuals are putting their grass leaves and individual things out on the wrong day of the month. So I had our code enforcement officer for the weekend go around and put a notice on every household that had stuff on the city's right-of-way on a Saturday. Pickup is, bulk trash is on Wednesday, grass clippings on Monday. So on Saturdays, there shouldn't be anything on our city right-of-way. I got a couple of complaints that we were being picky, but honestly, we shouldn't be driving around the city on a Saturday afternoon and seeing stuff on the right-of-way. So just a fair warning. All individuals did move it. I got a little bit, but they were pretty decent. And just to inform residents, it's on Monday for the grass clippings in the bags, and bulk trash is on Wednesdays. So any other day other than that, if you get a notice, you know the reason why. It's not supposed to be on our city right away. And that's my report is submitted.
Any question?
I do have a question, and that's relating to the Monday pickup of the clippings and all.
Yes.
A lot of people, especially seniors, someone else does their grass. And depending on how much rain you had and how much grass clippings you have, even if they have the people put it on the side, some of them aren't able to get it back out on Mondays. So that might be something we want to take in consideration as well.
We try, and if you have issues, I have considered that, and we do talk to some residents. But I think that was one of the reasons they changed the date from Wednesday to Monday.
Right.
So more homeowners are able to cut their grass and things on the weekend, so they're able to put it out for the Monday versus when it was on Wednesday, which was the middle of the week. So we're working on it,
Okay,
hopefully.
that's basically what you just said is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They cut the grass on Saturday, and we moved it to Monday, so that when the clippings get put on the curb on Saturday, it's only 1 day difference, being Sunday.
Right.
And then Monday, we pick it up. So
Right.
it's not there until Wednesday,
Okay.
okay? And so we might want to look at that consideration that some seniors can't get it back out. And the people that cut their grass, they pay to cut their grass. If you know what I'm saying.
So let me rephrase what I just did. The notices we put out this weekend weren't for those individuals that just put their grass out. When we
Okay.
went around Thursday and Friday, and we noticed all those individuals that had
Okay.
their grass out, we made a note of those ones.
Okay.
And we went back, if those grass and stuff was still out there, that's who we put notices out.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
we understand that residents cut their grass on the weekends, and you put it out. But that grass shouldn't, if you cut it on Tuesday, they're not going to pick it up until the following Monday. So when we drive through the cities, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, all that grass is still going to be sitting there for literally 7 days.
Right.
So those are the individuals that, when we look through the week and we see those, we make a note of them, and then we'll put a notice on the
Oh, okay.
president.
Thank you.
And we also give them a note notifying them that when the date of the pickup is, so the next time they will be realize it, if they're new or if they forgot.
Okay, thank you.
I have one question. So, did you get any feedback on the old SunTrust Bank?
Honestly, I've left a couple of messages. I have not checked back with them reference to that. I did post it though, so right now I'm hoping, because it has high grass on there and there was some issues with a trailer, so I'm waiting for somebody to call me back on clearing that up.
Okay.
Check with that
Okay.
by next week and I'll
Did
give you
they
an
put a
answer.
contract on that bill?
Yeah, that's what
I believe so, and that's what I'm trying to clarify.
Because I know
because-
contract was on it. And I
Yes,
think- I
and
think
now
they
it's
put-
for sale again,
I
so
think they
I'm
put
waiting
on-
for somebody to give me a call reference to both those issues.
Because we,
You have anything?
Yeah, I have one more question. I saw someone walking, well, the dog was walking with the owner, and it wasn't on a leash. The dog wasn't on a leash, it was a big dog. And I waited till they got to the corner, and I said, ma'am, you know you should have your dog on a leash. She had one of these electronic devices and said, this is what I use. I said, no, you need a leash.
Yes.
And so I don't know if we're gonna start seeing those
I
more.
will check it out. Because
Yeah.
the electronic devices, to my knowledge, has a radius that they can do, so I don't know how she did that radius, so I will check it.
Yeah, it was pretty
Because it's
scary.
usually for the property. And
Right.
it's marked around your property, so
Right.
your dog can't go off your property.
Right,
So I don't know
but
how
not
you
walk in the
walk and-
street.
I will check it.
Yeah. But that was my question. That was it.
Our code said lease. Until
Yes.
that change, they gonna need a lease.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm gonna talk to the chief back there, I see him waving his head. They gonna need a lease on them dogs, okay? Because I saw, it may have been a stall,
Yeah.
and, it was about 10 feet in front of the guy. And, so that's not gonna change. Okay. All right. Commissioner Melo, you finished, Commissioner?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Get you. The off Marbury Pike, I've had some conversations with residents, and the amount of trash we talked about before in that area on certain days, it's littered with trash in where the businesses are, right? Whose responsibility for cleanup is that? Is it the businesses?
Depending on what their contract says, ultimate responsibility is the property owner when it comes to the thing.
Do we?
But if it's the renter that's at the time, we post the properties and whoever's responsible. If they don't clean it up, then it ultimately goes back to the property owner. That's how we do it as a city, if it becomes a final warning where it's a municipal infraction.
So we give a warning, how long is that warning? Is it 15 days, 30 days to clean up?
It's
2 days?
10 days, and then it's 5 days, and then they get their final. And then once the final, then it becomes a municipal infraction,
Okay. How much are these fines?
depending on what it's for.
So
Anywhere
having
from
litter-
$500.
Okay. Is that something that we enforce a lot? Because I see trash along that area, in the strip mall.
I was gonna talk about that.
Okay.
Those containers are maintained by the city.
Right,
That are in
but
front of the businesses where Gallo is.
right.
Yeah, for
Those
instance.
trash containers in front of the businesses are maintained by the city, but the business owners all don't have their own trash contracts. So what they do is at the end of the day, they put their trash in the containers when they close up at night. So that's why the trash fills up.
Okay.
When it's
Then we-
actually
and
supposed to be
spills
for
over.
passersby to just dump stuff. But some business owners are putting their trash in there from the complete day of business.
Well, actually, I have a few things I want to talk about. I just want to let the commissioners go first. Matter of fact, are you finished, Commissioner?
Really quick, and once again, Marbury Pike, old SunTrust Bank, the weeds across the street where the dry cleaners is, that grass that grew up. I had got in contact with Brian, and it was like my
Oh,
height.
it's cleaned.
It's clean. I know it's clean now.
I
It's clean now.
had them,
Good.
because they changed contractors.
Okay.
And for some reason, the contractor that did that section, because it's owned by Aldi's. So the new contractor didn't realize that they were responsible for that section when they cut Aldi's. So they had to call them back and make a special note for them to actually come back and do that. It took them 2 days to do it because they did a half and then had to come back. So I think by Monday, they had everything cleaned up.
Because we did talk about that,
Yeah.
Brian. We all got together and we did that, but it was up for weeks. It was about
Yeah.
my height. It was really, really, really high. And I saw people there, it was almost a hazard, but it's taken care of now. Now the contract.
And I've made them note of them that they have to do it on a regular basis when they do all these.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Commissioner Irvin?
Okay, Michelle, I think we talked about this before, and I just want a little clarification what we came up with. With the rental property, the homes, and where you inspect and then re-inspect, and then they still don't pass. What did we decide? Did we decide what we were going to do about that? Do you remember, Mayor?
No, we said we were
No,
going to talk
we're
about
gonna
it.
fine them and go back to they wasn't gonna use the property until they get it inspected.
There already is someone in the property, that's your general, what we were supposed to sit down and discuss. We have
Okay.
not sat down and discussed that issue.
Okay.
But we have to keep doing that. Now, the other things, and if I touch on what the other commissioners have mentioned, then forgive me. But that strip mall, I ask that you give them all a notice that they can come in and sit down with us, because it's not working. We have to have a conversation with them. Like Dr. Crutchfield said, we maintain the trash cans, but they're filling up the trash with those things, but on Sunday, it looks like it's a war zone. And it's crazy, and it doesn't look good. So we're gonna have to have a conversation with the people, the owners of those properties, or their representative, that we're gonna have to establish some rules and regulations on how we're gonna have that place to look, because it's not gonna continue to look like it's looking, because it's just a big mess up there. The other thing is, now when Ms. Parker, on Saturday works, does she travel through the alleys? Because these alleys are crazy, and a lot of these backyards have old cars in them.
Right.
And there's a house on Cabbage Street, and they are dumping stuff in that backyard. And matter of fact, Ms. Williams, I talked to her because it's directly across from one of our residents' homes, and she said, today it's nothing, they come back 2 days later, they got the yard full of stuff. So we're gonna have to check the alleys and make sure that those alleys are clean, or the backyards, because all those cars and all that stuff in the backyards, they're gonna have to get that stuff out of there, or they're gonna have to be fined for that. I'm looking at you, Chief. Hold 1 second. Yes, Chief. Stay there, I'm going.
Yes, Sandy. With respect to Ms. Parker going out on Saturday, being in alleys, I'm not necessarily comfortable with that. So what I'm going to do is assign an officer to her.
Okay.
So we can go in every alley, and then I'll come back and I'll report what we've done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want her back there by herself.
Good.
So we'll do that, and then I'll report.
Well, the way I saw her driving down the street, nobody's gonna catch her anyway. So, matter of fact, I had to pull up beside her and say, Miss Parker, we don't drive the city cars like this. She said, I apologize, it won't happen again. But the way she was driving, wasn't nobody gonna catch her, Chief. I mean, she was flying. So, and I wasn't saying that to be funny. I'm just telling you what it was, because they're about that. But that's a great idea, Chief. Send somebody with her as she goes through those alleys on Saturdays. That'll work. That's good. And then the other thing, what are we gonna do about that ice cream place on the corner? We are no longer gonna let that place sit there and rot. Listen, please have him contact this.
I've already sent him a letter.
Send him a
I
letter.
sent him notice, and I called him. I did not reach him, I did that last week. So I've sent him a
If he doesn't call
warning.
you back, please give me the number, I'll call him myself.
No problem.
But the deal is, that place is just sitting there and it's beginning to rot now.
Yes.
If you look at the
I posted it for
Yes.
the deterioration of property,
Yes.
and I sent it to the address, and I left a message on his voicemail. So
Now, I'm gonna tell you something.
we'll go to court if it's.
No, I'm gonna tell you. Rightfully, if he presses it, we legally might be able to obtain that through eminent domain. Now, that's a legal term that we probably can do, because we have done that in the past with some homes in the city that was drug homes, that we actually, through eminent domain, they just lost the house. So the deal is, there are other legal ways that we actually can deal with this. I'm just trying to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. But we're not gonna tolerate this place keep going like this. It's not gonna happen. So let's try to get in contact with him. If you can't, give me the information. I'll try to get in contact with myself. But it'll be a legal issue, and he can be dealing with the courts, and the city can be trying to take that property from him. Okay? So let's work on that, okay? Anything else for Ms. Watkins? Seeing none? Thank you, Ms. Watkins.
Okay.
Okay, Public Works, Building and Ground, Ms. Barnhill Love.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioner, residents. I ask that you accept my report as it is written. I'm just gonna touch on a few things, because I guess Mr. Madlock has some other stuff he's gonna touch on. We put up the stage for District Heights Day. We have cleaned a vacant property at 2101 Ramblewood Drive. Total in charges, $374.86. We blocked off the streets for the District Heights Day Parade. We filled potholes in the alley on Council Drive. We had the stump grinder remove several dead trees at various locations throughout the city. We also had state striping to come out and stripe double lines on Kipling Parkway from Marbury to the city line and Gateway Boulevard from Marlboro Pike to Mason Street.
Is it?
Yes, the next thing is Commissioner Madlock is going, Vice Mayor Madlock is going to.
You want to talk?
Yeah, it's, a continuation, since Brian is not here and not here either, but we looked at some things that we did very well this year. And one is, it's great to talk about these things that we've done, but the saving finances, financial dollars for Public Works. Public Works Department had a very successful year managing our budget. We were able to maintain the budget, to balance it, and to have a surplus. For the last 3 years, I believe we have been asking for funds and been denied and been asking and denied, but we used what we had currently and we made it work for this year. So for the last 3 years, we've been looking for money, but we made sacrifices this year. We did some restructuring, and now with the help of the workers, Brian, yourself, and I just happen to be the Public Works, Commission liaison, but we've managed to even give back money that we got from unreserved what we do, to purchase a new HVAC system for the Recreation Department, which was over $4,000, and we were able to give that back to the unreserved funds, so saving the city money again. We were able to purchase that new Bobcat walker that we've been asking for the last 2 years that we've been missing out on, which was $4,900. 50 new chairs, round tables for the Recreation Department, and new heaters for room 400, 2 water fountains, brand new water fountains for our building, totaling about $5,000. So we've saved money. We're in the red as a department, the Public Works Department. We've made some sacrifices, but we've done a stellar job in getting that together. So it's always good to save the city money. We also a lot of times talk about money being spent and allocated wrong, but we have done our due diligence and put things together and got some things in perspective, and I appreciate the work you've done, Angela, and for the Public Works Department. And that's it. Oh, also too, we have 8 new summer hires, right? 6 summer hires. I had a meeting with them last week.
Yes.
And just to talk with them a little bit, to let them understand what we do. They're very respectful men anyway, but you never miss a chance.
Lady.
Huh?
One lady.
And one young lady, so we have a young lady on board with us too. But you never miss a chance or an opportunity to mentor. So we had a conversation. They have dreams and aspirations outside of this, but this is a great starting point. And Public Works has provided a great environment for them to be in. So I appreciate that again. But so 6 new workers, 1 female, and she's doing a great job.
Yes.
A great job. So thank you again, Angela.
All right, any more questions for Mr. Bond here, any comments? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, unfinished business, seeing none, new business, I would like to let the candidates for Ward 2 speak after this, public participation. After I jump over that, Mr. Fisher, public participation.
Good evening. We got two items that I'd like to mention on the public participation. The first is our monthly Quarterly Herald. I'd like to see that magazine be returned to monthly. I think it's a lot of stuff going on in the city that we miss out on getting in the Herald. You have articles in there that are outdated. Some are in there, but you forget about it because 2 or 3 months have passed by. I assume it was changed from monthly because of the cost. And if that's the issue, I could recommend maybe not having the mailings done, but have the residents come up here and pick up the copies, because I don't think a lot of people read them anyway. Also, we might look at, I'd like to see the magazine upgraded to a newspaper type style, where we have sports, recreation, arts and entertainment, and we have them here. We could also have merchants advertising there, which would sort of subsidize the cost of having the monthly Herald done. Any questions on that?
Well, actually, 5 years ago, I brought that up, and there was some legality about we couldn't have commercial advertisement, and I was always wondered why we couldn't do it, simply because it would offset the cost of the paper itself. Exactly. And that's what I was told, and I think it went to legal. Did it, Ms. Crutchfield?
I'm not familiar with the conversation.
Okay, yes, and they were telling me that there was some legality because we're a municipality, we can't make money, stuff like that, but I don't see why we can't do that. And I think that's one avenue that we should really look at. I'm totally in agreement with everything that you just said. It should be in newspaper form because we do a lot of stuff in the city. Young people doing things and going to school and getting good grades, and senior citizens doing stuff, and we have we have an enormous amount of programs, but it's never in there. So true. I think that we should sit down and restructure the paper. I do believe that. And I believe that we should have advertisement in there, paid advertisement, and that would offset it and the paper will grow itself. I'm in agreement totally with everything you said.
Okay, so we're going to look at that.
So I think that, and I also think that in doing that, since you are such a great writer and innovator, I do think that because you spoke up, we'll be looking for an editor-in-chief, and I think that you should sit down along with the commission and possibly come up with, grow your ideas into fruition, and I would love for you to be a part of that.
We'll talk about that.
But you always give me the same answer. We'll talk about it. Okay, we'll talk about it. I give you that. We'll talk about it.
The second item I'd like to discuss is the folder that we provide for new residents that move into the city. This is a copy of what they get. And in here you have code enforcement, you have the city charter, and you have some more contact information. But I think this manual needs to be looked at, updated, because some of the stuff in here is outdated. And I picked this copy up today, and I briefly went through it, and some stuff in here. For instance, the pickup on Monday is still in there for Wednesday. That's for the yard waste, things like that.
Well, I think, Mr. Fisher, again, I think that you're absolutely correct on that. I think, matter of fact, I was looking over the web page, our webs and all that stuff. All of that stuff has to be fixed. It has to be. We cannot continue like this. We've been dealing with our web stuff for the last 4 years. It makes no sense. So we're going to have a committee. I'm going to establish a committee that we can sit down and we can start working on this stuff to get this stuff moved in the right direction, because we're going to stop. It's time for us to stop spinning our wheels. We've been spinning our wheels a lot on information. Now, one thing that really bothered me is that all of that work that the YSB program put in, I would love to have seen more people come to the event. Now, we have a problem in this city of not coming out until there's a crisis, and that doesn't make sense to me. You know, people don't care about how much money they spend, where their taxes are going, but as soon as there's a crisis or you bring something up, this room is flooded. I remember about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, some of you may or may not remember, when Mayor Walls was here, I said, look, we're raising taxes. So Mayor Walls looked at me and said, are you crazy? I said, absolutely. We put in the paper, we're going to raise taxes. This room, people couldn't get in this room. You couldn't get in. They was all in the hall. So when they came in and they were saying, well, they just screaming and hollering and shouting about the taxes going up. We pay enough taxes. Why are the taxes going up? And we just sitting up here, Mayor Walls looking at me like, oh boy, you know, open up a can of worms. Well, the deal was, we didn't raise taxes. Because I said, it's a hoax. I just want you to come to the meeting. So the deal was, now they sit back and said, so the taxes are not going to be raised? I said, absolutely not. But why does it take that to bring you to a meeting so that you would know what's going on in your community? Well, don't you know, after I said that, they start easing out, easing out. Imagine this room packed. By the end of the meeting, it was half filled. Didn't even make any sense. So we have to start, if we want to engage ourselves in our community and put input, like I'm asking you about the newspaper and all of that stuff, then we as a community, we're going to do better. It's not incumbent upon us up here to say, this is the law, this is how it works. No, it's not. It's not. We're only here because of you. We're only here because of you. And if you don't want to put anything in the pot to say how we should go, or how we should do this, or at least have some input, then something is wrong with that. Something is wrong with that. You know, so let's do better about that across the board. Let's do better about coming to the meetings, finding out what's going on, and how we can get things done. Because I'm sure, not sure, I guarantee you, there are a lot of residents in this city with expertise in a lot of areas. Yes. And I would love to have, if it's infrastructure, if it's math, if it's kids, if it's senior citizens, why can't we have 20 committees dealing with this stuff? Just meet on another day to say, how can we fix this? How can we do this? I would love to have those things happen. I want those things to happen while I'm sitting in this chair. Because when I'm gone, I'm not coming back. You know, and I know some of y'all be happy, but no, you know, some of you might be sad, some of you be happy. But the fact of the matter is, I would like to see us on a good path of growth in this city to make sure that whoever sits here and whoever comes in, because that's why one reason why I asked Vice Mayor Jonathan Manlock to invest in the young people and start getting them engaged in the process. I wanted them to know how this city is run, how our taxes work, how our voting work. I want them to know this stuff because I'm sure people come after us, they're going to be younger people. They're going to have to know all this stuff. So who are to teach them better to teach us than us? Teaching them than us. So we have to start doing that and sharing information. And that's why he was saying that, well, I asked him to do that. Yes, I wanted him to be in that area, in that 13 to 30 area, and getting these people talking to them and getting them engaged and stuff in the city. We have to do it. We can't get around. It has to be done.
And
you know,
just to remind everyone also, not to cut you off, that National Night Out this year will be August the 7th.
Mm-hmm. August the 7th is National Night Out. I'll get you in a second, Commissioner. No. August the 7th, and I want you to know there's a big grill out back.
I was told.
There's a big grill I have hauled in here, belonged to one of the workers here, and it's a great grill. We used it yesterday. We cooked some stuff for Public Works and the police officers that was here for fireworks. You're going to love it.
Okay.
All right. All right. Come in. Wait, Mr. Fisher.
Yeah, I just had a comment, just piggybacking on what the mayor said. As president of Prince George's Municipal Association, I get a chance to go to all 27 municipalities most of the time, and I am at awe with all the volunteers that are there. They don't have, their staff is not as large as our staff, most of them, and most of them are larger municipalities. But the volunteerism is awesome. I always say, why can't we be like them? Because we can do it. We put our heads together, we can do it. And we can make it a better way to communicate to our residents because we all have something that we can bring to the table. So it was a good idea that we need volunteers.
And you're absolutely right. And not to beat this point up a little bit, but why do you think I spend so much time talking to senior citizens? Well, I'm a senior citizen too, but why do you think I spend so much time? Because the knowledge that they have. You'd be surprised how many senior citizens, I go to their homes and I just sit in their homes, sit on their porches and just talk to them. Just talk to them. You know, they in accounting, they in this, they in that. They can help you, but they just don't want to come down here. I have a young man right now sitting in the back. Stand up for me. Stand up. Stand up. He has a great program. He has calendars. He is a promoter. He is doing stuff with young people. And matter of fact, I'm sorry Mr. Taylor's not here because I wanted to introduce him to Mr. Taylor because he's doing so many good things. And he and I had a meeting the other day for like 2 hours, And I was taken back by all the good stuff that he wants to share with us, this city, and the young people in it. And that's why I was talking to Vice Mayor Medlock and said, I want you to meet him. I told him I wanted to meet him after the meeting. I asked him to show up, and he showed up, and thank you for coming. But the deal is, we have to start branching out. We have to stop talking about this stuff. We talked about annexation for the last 5 years. We don't have annexation, but that doesn't make sense. So what happens now is that, no, waiting games are over. The game's over. We have to stretch out, move out, grow, and do what we can to make this city better, because it's already a great city. But if we don't do what we're supposed to do, it will just maintain the status quo, and that's what we don't want. Okay, Commissioner.
Yes. Okay. To address what you're saying about that age group, the chief and Mr. Taylor from Recreation have programs. The Youth Council, we've been trying to get off on working. So if Vice Mayor is going to work with that, please check with these two gentlemen, because we've already started trying to do that. We talked in depth several times about getting a youth council together so that when we go to the National League of Cities, we can have a group representing the city. I've spoken on that. So that's not a new issue that we've had or a new concern, and nor is it something new that we're trying to do. Some things are already in place. Chief, do you want to talk about the youth program that you were having, like with the police department, that you had thought of?
Well, the chief and I already talked about this. We talked about our youth program. We talked about the cadet program that we want to implement. We talked about all of those things. But we can talk about in the doomsday, and they can stay on the table for doomsday. An idea is just an idea until...
It's up to us, because what I'm saying, they brought it. They brought it before. We have tape. We have sessions where we can pull up the tapes where we've talked about this. So it's up to us now. And so if you're going to take that lead, great. So it's up to us now to just carry it through. Some of it is already there, and all we have to do is just build upon it and act on it. So that's really pretty good.
Well, then, I'm going to say this again. An idea is an idea until it's acted upon. So
and that's
if we have ideas and we have things to do, if it's sit on the table, we just look at it, it's going to just stay there.
Then that's on us.
Move it off the table from the board and make it come to fruition, and that's what we want to do.
Absolutely.
Right? That was on us to let it sit, so it's been out.
Really quick. To that point, really quick, being with the 100 Black Men in Prince George's County, I just bring in a supplement to what we're already doing. It's not trying to recreate the wheel or do anything different, but bring in my expertise in mentoring or whatever. I had just 6 young men that I mentored since 6th grade, and I watched them graduate this year, all 6 of them. So that's something that I've done over time. So it's nothing that I'm trying to recreate. I just want to do another part and do in addition to. Also, to a point of correction, I mentioned that we were in the red earlier. We're in the black. We don't owe anybody anything. So that's a point of correction for me.
Thank you for clearing it up.
Thank you very much.
I didn't mean to slip you that note.
But I appreciate it.
That's good. That's good. Questions? Saying none. I see we have another speaker forum here, Ms. Sarah Johnson.
I'll take it out. We got this one too.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, neighbors and friends. Oh, there are friends back there. Okay. And on my little sign-in thing, I said process because I wasn't sure how to do this. But I think I'm of an age to just do it my way. On election night, I was one of the poll watchers. So I got to see all of the results of polls as they came in, and I know what happened with Ward 1 as far as the numbers, and also with Ward 2 as far as the numbers. And tonight we're here to fill the Ward 2 seat. And there may be some who are saying this is premature because we have the Ward 2 candidates, as we're looking at them now, who are going to be coming to speak. But I do want to speak now because having been a poll watcher, I do know what the numbers were. And I was a little saddened because as I looked at Ward 2, it was almost like looking at, you know, the one child when both mothers wanted the one child, and only one mother could have it. With Ward 2, you had half of the ward that wanted one person, half of the ward that wanted another person. And there were 2 people. But the one person who had a few votes more than the other, of course, was the person who was the ward representative and who was elected. This is an instance when both mothers can be satisfied, because now there is an empty seat for Ward 2, and there's a person who the residents of Ward 2 had wanted, and they were not able to have because you could only have one elected person for Ward 2 at that time. Now there's another seat in Ward 2 that is vacant. And it would appear to me that we would want to do what the residents of Ward 2 wanted to happen. And now we are able to have that seat filled, and I would expect that the commissioners, the mayor, the vice mayor, would want to do that which the residents have said they wanted to happen. And the residents did speak of the one person who was on the ballot at that time, and they wanted to have as their representative in Ward 2. And I don't have to say the name because everybody knows who the other person was who was on the ballot. But I think we do owe it to the residents. We're all residents of this city. And in Ward 2, whatever happens at that table by any one of the commissioners represents me, because I'm a member, I'm a resident of this city. And we usually do what it is the residents are asking of us. As elected officials, that's what we usually do. So I think that what I'm asking tonight is that as we look at the 3 candidates that are before us, that we also remember what it is that the residents of Ward 2 have asked of us. And I was a poll watcher, I was in the room, I did see the numbers, I did record the numbers, so I'm not saying what somebody told me. I know exactly what the numbers were, and they were very, very close. But you could only elect one person at that time. And this is a time to let the other mother have her baby. All right, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
We do have another speaker form, and Claudia. So hold up, Claudia. Okay. You're straight. Vice Mayor Medlock is going to meet with you because he's going to take care of everything you got on that list. Oh, you got something else? Oh, come on up there. Oh, you got something that wasn't on the list. Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, I just wanted to announce to the community, because by the time we have another city meeting, it will have already happened. These things are actually on the table, but I know some of you may never see it because there's so many things on the table. First of all, 2 weeks from Saturday, the children will be doing the Return of the Glass Slipper, and it will be right downstairs. There's a 12 o'clock. And there's also a 2:30 show. The flyer's out there on the table. Just want to make sure you pay attention to it. The donation is $10. Some of you came when we did it last year. We're doing it again. So that's in 2 weeks from Saturday, noon at 2:30. The children will be doing the Return of the Glass Slipper. Also on the table is the flyer for Miss District Heights pageant, which I have here. We are having that again this year. And it will be on Saturday, September 22nd. And it will be, I see this says 2 to 5. But that's definitely a typo because it will actually be at noon. Yes, it'll be at noon and it should be over by 2 o'clock.
What time does it start?
So we have to change that. Starts at noon. So I do want y'all to see that. It'll be from noon to about 2:30 at the latest, about 2.5 hours. And it's free for the community. For those who didn't go the first time, anybody can come in. We do have enough girls interested in running for those positions. And I will be working with the Miss District Heights that we have now. Her and her mother are gonna be helping me with that. And what I also wanna see happen is a Queens Association for them, which I brought up years ago. so that they have something to operate with. When Mayor Walls was here, once that budget was depleted, once we did the City of District Heights pageant and it depleted that particular line item, my question was, where will financial support come from for whatever they want to do? And what they do is very small, and it does not cost a lot. So really $1,000 would take them through the year. So I wanted to know how likely it would be that you all could, when the pageant is over, put another $1,000 in that line item so that they continue to have activities. I don't know how he did it, but I would just make the request to him, and he was responsible for paying for things. I can't tell you how he did that.
I can tell you how he did it.
Okay.
He asked me to give $1,000 as a vice mayor to the line item. So, you know what I'm gonna do?
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you to give $1,000 to the line item. That's how he did it.
But you know what?
No.
You know what, man? I was thinking about that.
You know, wait a minute. He came to me and he said, it's just like North Forestfield Elementary School or District Heights Elementary School needs something. He would come to me and says, Ed, take care of this.
Okay.
I would say, but look, where am I get the money from? He said, oh, you got it in your budget. So he know that I really don't like flying, so anybody knows me. I don't take a lot of trips, so a lot of my money just sits there.
Okay.
So.
Well, you know, I was thinking it's a great idea, but I was thinking too.
That's a great idea.
It's a great idea also, and because I was gonna, pledge at least $250 too from my line. No, listen. I mean, but also getting buy-in from the rest of the commission and the mayor. And we can pull that money together because unlike you, Mayor, I do travel a lot. And I don't mind flying. I don't like it, but I'll do it. And I'm still trying to get some things done. But definitely offering the $250, I can say that now easily, and hopefully have the rest of the commission match.
We'll get you the $1,000.
Fine.
Done deal.
Look, we'll take care of the kids.
Okay, and did y'all have any questions about what it's for? Sometimes people need to know what it's for.
No, you're going to tell us.
Could we get something in writing? I mean,
that was my next question. Just
Yeah.
submit. The $1,000 is not the issue.
Okay.
Just submit to us what it's going to cover and what is needed, why is it needed.
Okay.
Just do that. Submit it to Dr. Crutchfield, and we'll work it out.
Okay, wonderful. And the final thing I wanted to throw out there to you guys, because it's coming up so soon, and I actually have not received the flyer. I have asked several times for a flyer, but I don't know if you all remember the business owner over here, Mario Payne of X-Mail. They moved from Forestville Shopping Center over there in Penn Station, over right next to Roses. At Beauty Couture, business owners, and they came out to, I think they vended at National Night Out last year, but they are having something 3 weeks from Saturday, and it's called Christmas in July. And it's going to be all day long. They're going to be doing giveaways and promoting the anniversary of their business. What I don't have from them is any advertisements. I don't know if they're just going to jump out there and do it, but they have seen our kids perform, and the step team is going to step outdoors. So anybody that's available at 1, 3 weeks from this Saturday, it's going to be July 28th. If I had a flyer, I would throw it out there. But they haven't given me anything. But Step Team will perform that day, and they're going to tear it down. For any of those who've never seen Step Team before, it's totally free. They're going to be giving away items. You should come on out at 1 o'clock and support your own kids. I just want to say we got to do more. I totally agree. We got to do more than talk. We got to put our money and our service where our mouth is when it comes to these kids, because they're doing great things and we got to celebrate them.
Absolutely. And not only that, I would just say, I come down there a lot when Claudia is doing things, and I was down the other day when the kids were rehearsing. You're going to love the new sound system. They were rehearsing and singing without the sound system the other day, but the new sound system that we just put in, they're going to love it. They're going to love it. And the other thing is this. Don't think by no stretch of the imagination, all of those 6 or 7 events that was doing a year, every 3 months, the city's not paying for all that. A lot of that money I go out and get. I go out and find that money because it subsidized the money that they put in the line item for me. You know, they give me $7,000, I'm going to spend $5,000 for one event. So the deal is, don't be afraid to put yourself a nice letter together and have these store owners and the people, these people in the community help support these kids. Some of them would do it. I know they would do it.
Oh, they do.
I
They do. I think my mom and I are professional beggars now because there is no way that $2,500 would take these kids through a whole year, and they're doing something literally. They do at least 2 major performances every 3 months, and there's no way that what we have would take us that far. But people are constantly giving. I think when y'all see me coming, y'all just stop. Y'all already know. Y'all already know. My mother's a queen. I just send her. I be like, go get them. So we do it all the time. We beg constantly, and I encourage all of you to at least buy a ticket. Some of you have really supported us, and some I haven't seen the whole time you were in office. So I encourage you guys to support the kids just by showing up, showing your face. I mean, even if you don't say anything, just let us wave and say you were there so that the kids know that you're for them like you are the seniors.
And the last thing I'm gonna say is, 25 kids, 23 of them are on the honor roll. Okay? Out of 25 on the honor roll, and that's amazing. That's amazing. And one's a valedictorian. So we gotta get that 25th one up on the honor roll. So we gotta assist them, whatever it is. But thanks a lot, and I hope you wrote these dates down because we need to support these young people and keep them moving because they're doing some good stuff. And if you ever get a chance to go see the play or hear them sing, I was down there. What day was it? Practical?
Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, and I was just there sitting on the bench, and it was great. So thank you for all your hard work and keep up the good work. And Mr. Medlock is going to support you with that.
Hey, one last thing. And I do apologize. I've created this flyer and I put the wrong date down.
Okay.
But it is from noon to 2:30 p.m. I just want to reiterate the District Heights, Miss District Heights. We did this 4 years ago, and it turned out well. And we're doing it again now.
No, it's Miss District Heights.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So can the revised one be out there tomorrow?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you all.
All right. Now we have recommendation for Commissioner Ward 2 seat. We have Ms. Pamela Jennifer and Mr. Oscar L. Brody Jr. And Ms. Pamela, not any other reason, you just first. Would you like to take the podium and speak?
Well, Mayor Martin, you have taken most of my thunder with all of your tremendous ideas. So I'm going to incorporate some of this in my statement, but you've said quite a number of things that have warmed my heart, and I'm happy that you've mentioned those things. First of all, good evening, Mayor Martin, Vice Mayor Medlock, Commissioners Irving and Miller. My name is Pamela Jennifer, and I am interested in becoming the interim commissioner for Ward 2. Having lived in Prince George's County for over 40 years, 18 years in District Heights, I have a very vested interest. Big ups to me. I'm going to have my home paid off in about 3 months. Yay me. And family and public service are very important to me. My dad is a U.S. Marine Corps veteran. My fiance, Jeffrey Labrador, is a veteran U.S. Marine Corps. My daughter, Ariel, who graduated from Morgan State University, is a active duty in the United States Navy. So we get our military on. Now, I have not served, but I, federal government employee, worked for over 35 years at the Environmental Protection Agency. I'm in the Congressional Affairs Office, where I consult and advise members of Congress and their staff on various issues. Working with the youth is very important to me. Again, thank you, Mayor Martin. In 2003, as a member of the District Heights Youth Empowerment Program, I taught a free cooking class to several of the young children here. And, you know, it gave me an opportunity to teach some of the life lessons and skills to empower their success and enrich their lives. My personal philosophy is that we shall not give up on our kids, because, you know, we do that, we give up on ourselves. What a great loss. Some of the issues that I'm interested in, and this is in no particular order at all, are the youth services program, tutoring programs, the job training, internship, and positive image programs. Two, some of us say senior, older adult services. I would very much like to work with Mayor Martin and continue his living legacy of working with our seniors. I'm almost there, so I want to make sure that we're covered here. We're going to all be there at some point, and so we want to make sure that we have all of those programs in place, keeping our website current. So I think that was Mr. Fisher that came up early and spoke about the website. I'd like to add, we've got to stay on top of our website. We've got to, somebody needs to be updating that at least weekly or bi-weekly. Oh, my time. Oh, mercy. Okay, the last thing, and then I'm done. The budget. Stay on top of that. Got to be good shepherds of our budget. And these are just a few of the ideas that I have. Again, Pamela Janifer. I look forward, hopefully, working with all of you and meeting you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Oscar Brody, Jr.
Good evening, Mayor Eddie Martin, Vice Mayor, and to these great commissioners, and to this great city of excellence, which is District Heights. I am that person that ran again against Commissioner Urban for the seat of Ward 2, and I'm back at it again. So I'm not going to bore you. Can I just look at you all, because you all makes a difference. Again, I believe that the city has potential and certainly is cutting edge. This city will attract new, reputable businesses to meet the needs of our community, seniors, youth, and millennials. A city that I know is a coming attraction. Again, my name is Oscar Brody Jr. I lived in the city for 16 years, former educator and administrator for a total of 15 years in the District of Columbia Public School System. I was educated in DC Public Schools, graduated from Cheyney University, background business administration, attended Trinity University, completed my education requirements, attended Howard University Saturday School, School of Divinity, and also attended Capital Bible Seminary. Married, father of two, Oscar and Alicia. Son Oscar attended Bishop McNamara, 11th grade, plays football, also a scholar. Alicia, third year in medical school, University of Arkansas Medical Sciences in Little Rock, Arkansas. My wife is a business licensing director in Washington, D.C. I'm currently a full-time pastor at the Commonly Hills Baptist Church with a flexible schedule and a full-time staff. Also, I'm a member of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I desire to serve this community in the spirit of excellence. I'm committed to serving. I'm called by many Nehemiah. Nehemiah was a builder, visionary. He was one that made sure he stood on his own. He represented the community well. He was a strategist. He was an advocate for the community. He didn't allow opposition to distract him from knew how to bring workers together and unify the building process. Nehemiah was a leader that used community resources to save money. Nehemiah was concerned about people versus concerned about himself. Nehemiah wasn't cliquish, neither was he political. Nehemiah dealt with things that were right. He stood up for what was right. He was able to work with the people. He never allowed others to see him sweat. Accomplishments. I'm the founder of HOPE, Holistic Opportunity Propelling Everyone, which is the Mental Health Counseling Services Center. We take Blue Cross Blue Shield and a sliding scale right within my church. Also, I have a mentoring program where we mentor at-risk youth from the Fairmont Heights High School, sister program, and Boys to Men also. Also, we do have a singers program where I spearhead. I teach every Wednesday. We're on our way to Martha's Vineyard. If you want to come along with us next year, we'll be traveling there. Tonight, I ask you to consider me to serve as an elected official of District Heights. If elected, I stand the principles of Nehemiah: transparency, accountability, and action.
Okay. So there you have it. We have two candidates, now, can I get a motion?
Well, based on the, what Ms. Johnson said herself and what the voters asked for, I move that we appoint Mr. Oscar Brody the remaining 10 months as the Commissioner of Ward 2.
Mr. Properly move this motion. Do we have a second? Do we have a second? Going once. Do we have a second? 3 times. Motion fails. Do I have a motion on this side?
Yes, I nominate Pamela Jennifer to fill the seat for the next term.
I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Properly moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm aye for Mr. Brody. So we have a tie here again.
You gotta do.
Huh?
No.
You call for the motion, you call for the second.
Right.
You
Yes.
ask for the affirmative votes. You have 2
I have
from
the
Irvin
affirmative
and
votes we
Miller.
have.
But you didn't ask for any opposed or abstentions.
Do I have any opposed? Any extensions?
Any opposed or abstentions for the motion and the second that was just done by Commissioner Miller and Irvin?
Do we have that?
Opposed.
We have opposed? I oppose. So we have 2 opposed. So in that case, we have a tie. So seeing that, I talked to the city attorney today, Kevin Karpinski, and he said if that happened, then we ought to have a special election. Special election, I sat down with Ms. Crutchfield, Dr. Crutchfield, and I explained all this to her today. Would you explain the process, Ms. Speaker?
At this time, we now have to appoint 4 persons for our Board of Elections because the current Board of Elections has been dissolved, effective a few weeks ago. So the mayor and commission have to vote for appointments for 2 members of Ward 2 and 2 members of Ward 1 to fill the vacancies on our Board of Supervisors of Elections for the city, after which they will be sworn in, review paperwork for the election process, and then contact the 2 individuals, Mr. Brody and Ms. Jennifer, regarding picking up the paperwork for candidacy. They will have 30 days to bring the paperwork back, complete it in its entirety, no exceptions, and also 25 to 30 days after the deadline for them to submit their candidate packets, a special election will be held on a Monday, and it has to be the first Monday of the month, 25 to 30 days after their packets have been received. So all election rules still follow, even though it's a special election, but we have to have an appointment of 4 Board of Election members.
Now, we'll have that because we have 2 Ward 1 people and 2 Ward 2 people, and I've asked that each one of them get a person for the board. Now, with that being said, we would follow the same process as a regular election. Am I right? Follow the same process as a regular election, and once all of that have taken place, then we would have the election, and then in September, because we're on vacation in August. Am I correct?
Correct. If the appointments are done within the next week, you can look at a election in September. If not, it may push back to October.
Well, I asked everyone at the last work session to nominate a person, and I know
Only
Commissioner
one name
Irving
was
had
submitted.
done that.
Yeah, only one name was submitted for recommendation. Only one name was submitted for recommendation.
That's right, Commissioner.
I was ready, but you said wait.
Okay, well, then, at the end of this meeting, get with Dr. Crutchfield, give her your recommendation, and then so we can swear them in. So at the end of the week, so that means the first week in September, we'll be able to have an election.
If
Okay?
we have recommendations from each of you, I know Commissioner Irvin has already submitted her recommendation, but if the mayor, vice mayor, and Commissioner Miller would submit their recommendation. But you have to remember that you can only have 2 from Ward 2 and 2 from Ward 1.
Right.
So please know what ward the individual you're recommending lives in, because if it's more people from another ward, someone you all will have to decide who you're not going to appoint.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Commissioner Irving already did one. I'll have to give you one from Ward 2, and then Commissioner Miller and Vice Mayor Matlock can give you the ones from Ward 1.
We'll have that done this by the end of the night.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just make sure she have it before the end.
Because it would be
by
prudent if we
Friday,
could
tomorrow,
do the
make sure she
appointment
have it by
next week.
tomorrow.
Done.
Yeah, because if we can get it by tonight or tomorrow, then we can possibly contact them and have them appointed and sworn in on Tuesday's work session.
One.
Okay. That's the democratic process. Some of us may like it, some of us may not, but that's just how it is. Anything else?
I think
Anything else?
Vice Mayor wanted to talk about a meeting he's going to have coming up.
Absolutely, and I think it's very important to have a conversation really quick about the charter rewrites. Once again, I've been hot and heavy on that. But we're going to have our first meeting. I'm making a public announcement and notice now to the public, District Heights residents, Ward 1 and 2. We're going to have it on July the 11th, that's on a Wednesday at 6 p.m. I believe Charlotte, Dr. Crutchfield said 6 p.m. We're going to come in here, we're going to have a meeting. Anybody who wants to be involved, everybody can't be involved, but we're going to select from the group of people. I want some younger people, people who've been in the community, older members of the community, all on this particular board to help rewrite the charter. I hope to have some representatives from the MML, the Maryland Municipal League, hopefully our city attorney or some representative or some member of the community that have worked and done this particular thing before, because we're doing something we haven't done in, I believe, 30 years, and that's to make revisions and changes to our charter. And we all understand that the